I always said, since you said she's like the mom, I say she's the mama hen. And then the middle one is Alysa, who's like the bossy sister.
Yeah.
And she bosses Isabeau around, who's just follows around going like, okay. Because, you know, their dynamic is like...
Isabeau is the comedian, though.
She
is hilarious.
I don't know
I mean,
that.
she's this elegant, beautiful, effervescent skater on the ice, but she is hilarious.
Welcome to another edition of Milan Magic. I'm Christine Brennan, USA Today Sports. I'm here with the great Brian Boitano, 1988 Olympic gold medalist and supreme podcaster, I must say.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
And you too.
Well, thanks.
Well, if we don't say so
ourselves. Exactly. Here we are again in Milan.
I know.
Thanks to everyone for watching on YouTube or listening wherever you find your podcasts. We are thrilled. We're so excited that we're back again. And of course, the sequins have been flying at figure skating. That is your thing. That's our bread and butter. But of course, Brian, now we focus on the women. The U.S. women, we've spent, those who have been listening and watching us on Milan Magic, certainly, you know, we've talked a lot about this great American team. 3 women, all so accomplished, and also, of course, trying to break this drought. Since 2006, a U.S. woman has not won an Olympic medal. So take it away.
Ooh, I think it's going to be really exciting, and I'm getting a groovy feeling about Amber Glenn. Like, it's just, I mean, I've always loved Amber Glenn, and I love who she is on the ice and who she is off the ice, but I'm getting this really great feeling from her. I felt that she got her feet wet in the team competition. She didn't have her best performance. It wasn't a bad performance. It was just, you know, a performance. And I feel like she's going to be gunning to just have a good skate. I don't know if she's going to be gunning for top of the podium, but I think that she's going to want to skate well for herself, because that's who she seems like she is. Her personality's like that. So I'm really excited to see her, and I really want her to skate well for herself. And Alysa Liu, breath of fresh air. We talk about it a lot. She has breathed new life into women's figure skating in America and really in the world. She's just here to have a good time. She is, you know, so prepared, so ready, and coming in as a world champion. So relaxed because she doesn't feel pressure. That amount of relaxation comes from her not feeling the pressure, because what happens is when a skater is feeling all that stress, it eats your energy away. So when you get on the ice at night for the competition, you're like drained. So she's not going to have any of that. So I think she's going to be going gangbusters. And then Isabeau, Levito, our, you know, nice, you know, little beautiful skater from the Blade Angels, because that's what they all 3 are called, right? She's going to be great too. Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll take them again.
Yeah.
You know, in order from the nationals, right?
Yeah.
Amber winning her 3rd straight national championship, the first time that's happened in women's skating in the U.S. since Michelle Kwan to win 3 in a row. But Amber has not had great results at the Worlds, as we know, and has not won a world medal. And so we saw that with the team competition, where she looked nervous. She still performed. She still landed the triple axel. That's a hard thing to do. Very few women do that. But it was not her best, of course. Lots of pressure. And, you know, with the team competition, Amber Glenn, you know, was a little shaky. She still landed that triple axel. Not perfect, but so few women do it. So that's, you know, great to her credit that she did that. But it was shaky. It was a little nervy, and she looked very nervous to me in press row as we were looking at her. But she got that under her belt, to the point you've made, that, like, okay, that is done. And you see it in her posts on Instagram. Obviously, she's taking on the issues. The first woman openly in figure skating, LGBTQ. She owns that. Of course she does. She wants to talk about it. Of course she does. I mean, she is an incredible role model. I think Madonna put an Instagram story out, you know, congratulating her. You know, how cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so I think Amber is like Elia, you know, the sense of, okay, the team competition, I got my feet wet, here I go. So I do not disagree at all on Amber. Alysa, to your point as well. I mean, we love to say it, right? Won the national title at 13, won the national title at 14, retired at 16, unretired at 18, wins the world championship at 19, now an Olympian at 20. Again, second Olympics, got the gold with the team, as of course did Amber. So one gold medal already around your neck. That's pretty cool, as you know as well as anyone. Yep. Different, obviously, individual versus team. Alysa Liu, they know her, right? The judges know her. We've had a lot of conversation about judges, of course, here because of ice dance. But for Alysa Liu, she won the world championship. And old school thinking of figure skating, right? You win that Worlds going into the Olympics, and there's a confidence that the judges have in seeing how you've performed. And when I ask you more about that in a second. But with Isabeau Levito, now 18 years old, so the kid of the three, wasn't in the team competition, so this will be her first time on the ice and for the real thing. But as we've said many times, you know, she's that beautiful, my God, just gorgeous, prototypical skater, the ballerina on top of the jewelry box, but also nothing to lose, you know. And not that we're not predicting Isabeau Levito winning a gold medal or silver or bronze, but we certainly have seen this in the past with Sarah Hughes, who literally came not out of nowhere, but you know, she'd been third at the Nationals in 2002, and then comes to the Olympics in Salt Lake City and wins the gold, surprises everyone. Going back to Alysa Liu and the fact that she is coming into this Olympics, Brian, as world champion, you know all about that, the pros and cons in terms of being the world champ right before the Olympic Games.
Absolutely. And statistics show that world champions the year before the Olympic Games win the Olympic gold medal. You know, and I wasn't like that because I lost the world championship.
Broke the streak,
I broke the streak. But all of those factors come into, like, statistics. I mean, it doesn't mean anything for Alysa Liu because she's just out here to have fun. But, you know, the fact that she is just doing that is really her power. She's the power girl because she has no pressure on her like that.
Right. And again, as we've said, just loving life and going for it.
Loving life. And and Isabeau, like, you know, you mentioned, has no pressure. She'll feel pressure for sure because she didn't do the team competition. But you know what? You never know what's going to happen. And, you know, if things surprise us all the time in the competitions, you know, and depending on what unravels during the competition, surprising things can happen. And, you know, if we had a sweep of women, it wouldn't, like, push me over with a feather.
Well, exactly. In fact, it would be a wonderful development for U.S. figure skating.
Yeah.
And we should mention then, because of course Japan, the strength of the Japanese, and Kaori Sakamoto, of course, she showed everyone. I think there's the audience and people in the United States and around the world got a chance to see her strength and her beauty and just the incredible power of her skating in the team competition. She's certainly in the mix and probably the gold medal favorite.
I think she's really hungry too. I think that this is going to be the biggest challenge for our American women because she's strong, she's mature, she's a great skater. She's just so powerful. She moves across the ice at high speeds and jumps really high. I mean, she's hungry again. You know, she lost the world championship title to Alysa Liu last year, and she is going to want it back. So I think that is where our toughest competition is going to come. And we didn't even mention Mona Chiba. Like, she could be an upset in everything because she is one of the strongest skaters in the women's field, Japanese, and she has skated really well for many years, super consistent. Had a little troubling year, but nothing big, and she could come back and upset everything. But, okay, you and I have talked about what we think about the women, but I had a great chance to catch up with our good friend, Olympic gold medalist Kristi Yamaguchi, in fact, while we were shopping the other day. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, yes. I know, exactly. Let's see what she thinks. What do you feel about the Blade Angels?
Blade Angels.
Do you like that?
Love it. The sisterhood they have is so awesome. I'm not sure I've ever seen that in
you didn't ever have that, right? The sisterhood?
Well, maybe Nancy and I.
Yeah, Nancy and you.
I mean, all three of them have such unique looks and styles on the ice, so different from each other, yet they're an amazing teammates for each other. So honestly, all three of them can end up on the podium.
Yeah.
In what order, who knows?
Yeah.
Depends how everyone skates, but all three of them have something special about their skating. And the only people standing in their way of like a sweep would be the Japanese. Yeah, Kaori. Yeah.
God, she's so good.
Yeah, it's she's so good. Monet. Yeah, I mean Kaori, silver medalist coming into this Olympics, and so beloved as well within the skating community. So, whew, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a battle.
And our local girl, Alysa Liu.
Local girl.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when she was this
she was
big?
tiny. That's
doing
when
triples,
we met her.
and we're like, how cute!
Yeah,
and
I
all
know.
of a sudden, yeah. I mean, it's
Quadruples.
quadruples.
She was doing quadruples.
Quadruplets, yeah, at 13, 14. So, yeah, to see her and the journey, what she's had, gone through, discovered, and here she is now. I love it. I'm so excited for her.
I never feel nervous watching her skate. She's a breath of fresh air, first of all, but
She is.
I know always that she's going to deliver.
Yeah, yeah, and I think she just, because she has that, hey, I'm having fun out here and I'm loving this.
Yeah.
And it comes across and it's so infectious to everyone watching her. So I don't know, I always find it hard. You're smiling every time she's on the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's smiling. She's making you smile.
Yes.
And she makes you feel calm. What about Amber? How you have a good feeling about Amber?
I do,
Yeah.
because I think she's been the most confident she's ever been in her career. And this year has been so phenomenal for her, and that triple axel.
It's the best triple axel of any woman.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you know, I would love to see her get on the podium, skate well, and, you know, what is she, only like 26?
Yeah.
And she's like the mom of the two others.
She is like the mom.
But
That's so funny. That's how I explained her the other day.
Yeah, I mean, and she's not. She's only 26
I know.
herself. But I think she's got, like her, with what she represents and just the grit and the resiliency she's had through the years to be here and to believe in herself. I don't know. So
She has such a maturity about her, not only on the ice, like skating, like as a woman who's been through a lot of different experiences, but just as a person off the ice, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I think just, again, they're so supportive of each other.
Yeah.
You don't see that in skating.
I always said, since you said she's like the mom, I say she's the mama hen. And then the middle one is Alysa, who's like the bossy sister.
Yeah.
And she bosses Isabeau around, who's just follows around going like, okay, because, you know, their dynamic is like...
Isabeau is the comedian, though.
Is she?
is hilarious.
I don't know
I mean,
that.
she's this elegant, beautiful, effervescent skater on the ice, but she is hilarious. She's got these quips that come back and, yeah.
Oh
Love
my
it.
gosh. And she
Love it.
speaks Italian.
Ooh.
Her family's from
That's
here.
right, Milan, yeah.
So we've spoken Italian together, so it's kind of fun. But I don't know that funny side of Isabeau. Maybe she'll show it after when we're
Yes,
like
let's see
celebrating
it.
their sweep on the podium.
For sure.
I hope so. It will be the first time since you guys swept
Well,
the
that was
podium.
only Worlds.
I know,
though.
but still, only Worlds.
Only
I don't
Worlds.
know, only Worlds. But American sweep, what year was that?
2000. No, not 2000. 1991.
Oh, she just had an old person moment.
91.
91, American women's
But
sweep
we had
at the
two
World
on the
Championships.
podium at Olympics.
That's true. That was big. Nancy
Yeah.
Kerrigan and you when you won.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, when you won. Nancy was on.
Yeah.
Kristi Yamaguchi, of course, one of the greats, obviously a dear friend of yours. And
She's okay.
Yeah, and I covered every second of that '92 Olympics. I mean, that was a huge battle. Kristi, Midori Ito, obviously Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding. I mean, one of the great U.S. teams ever,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And Kristi Yamaguchi winning that gold medal just with a terrific performance and guts and courage, and just a great athlete, and of course, a great artist, and then a long career, of course, show skating as well. Yeah. So, you know, Kristi is clearly one of the great American figure skaters of all time, one of the greats in the world. And speaking of course, of the three U.S. women, you had a chance to talk to Amber Glenn's choreographer.
Oh, that was really interesting. Check this out. This is a conversation that I had with Katherin Hill. Here we are in the Navigli neighborhood in Milan, quintessential neighborhood, residential neighborhood of the Milanese, and we're talking choreography with Katherin Hill. Thought it would be interesting to just talk about the process, because people don't understand that there's a coach involved, there's parents involved, there's a skater, there's the judges. They think you just choose a piece of music and then you go with that. So, I mean, what have been your processes, and talking about even Amber, what has then that been like? Because you did Amber's long program, Amber Glenn's long program.
Yeah, choreography for figure skating is interesting because it's for points, right? It's for a sport. And I have a friend in dance, a fellow dance choreographer, who said to me once, she's like, choreographing for points is mind-blowing, right? Like, oh my God. Because it's usually an artistic endeavor, an artistic endeavor, right?
Just for art's sake.
Just for art's sake and for feeling it and having an emotional response. So for figure skating, it's collaborative. It is very collaborative. And I think for me personally, it made a big difference when I started to identify as a creative versus an artist, to be frank.
Yeah.
Because a creative is collaborative. And so it's the effort between the coach, the skater, you as the choreographer. Sometimes you have judges who give their opinion, and that means that it's a very lengthy process. So we start these things, music selection, etc. That can be a year in advance or more. I've had skaters come to me and they've said, I've been holding this piece of music for like 10 years.
And you're going to hold it a little longer because we're not using it.
Sure, right. And that's a conversation because sometimes the music is perfect for them, right? And then we go from there. But once you have a piece of music, you get onto the ice. And I always liken it to fashion, actually, which is fitting because we're here in Italy. And the process to me is like trying on clothes. It's really like you might see a piece, a jacket on a mannequin, and then you try it on and you're like, ooh, not my color. Or you might see something and you're like, no, I don't know. You put it on and it really fits well. And it's the same with skating and the choreographic process. You have to try these movements. Yeah. So I always say it's a messy process, and I warn skaters ahead of time because, you've got these athletes, they're type A often, and they want it to feel streamlined and easy, and they want it to be fabulous right away. And you don't get there. You don't have that innovation. You don't have the feeling of ease in the movement unless you try on a bunch of stuff. So we take weeks and weeks, months and months. And I would say, with the case study of Amber, for example, we started last May. Well, 2 years ago. We've had the program now 2 years. But you start in the spring, and then you really have a version 1 by like midsummer. And then the athletes need to compete it. Yeah. And then you have version 2. And then after the next competition, you have version 3. And it really is a living document, right? Yeah. It's always editable.
And, what you said before about this is for points, and there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen making the decision. It actually makes a choreographer's job more difficult because it narrows your focus. Instead of looking at it as an art piece, something super creative, you're like, oh, okay, I want it to be that. But then all of a sudden it starts to narrow down, like, gotta please this person, gotta please that, gotta please, and it narrows down. So it's harder for a choreographer.
It's interesting because I always say, to me, again, back to the being an artist versus a creative, I think the blank canvas sometimes can be the most scary, right? Because anything is possible. So there was kind of, in my career, there was a moment where I took on the appreciation, okay, we have rules, we have things we need to hit, and that it's kind of guided some of the decision making, and I found an appreciation for it.
So
right?
that helped you when you're like, okay, now you have to narrow your focus, and you're like, okay, it makes it a little bit more not simple, but like at least I don't have the options of going in this direction.
Because then you have endless possibilities, right?
And then that's
I think early in my career there was a little bit of like, this is frustrating, we can't do X, Y, and Z. But if you kind of embrace it, then you have focused conversations. That's been something that I think's been really helpful is the honing and utilizing the rules to our benefit. And then at some point you also have to say, skater, coach, choreographer, the three of you have to follow your vision. Yeah. So I've been really appreciative, Amber, Damon, and I, we've just trusted each other and we've been on the same wavelength. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it comes down to sometimes just taste. Yeah. And if you like what I like, and if we're all in the same mindset. Yeah.
And you talked about getting version 1, getting version 2, and getting version 3 of the program. Talk about how you get on the ice and possibly just put on, I mean, I don't know. This is what my choreographers did with me. Like, okay, I'm going to put on the music and just improvise a little. I want to see how you move to it to see if you connect. I mean, what's your process in finding if the skater connects on that level?
So I always say, maybe you feel familiar with this. I always say, does the music and the movement skate? So, you want to feel like what you're doing feels like it connects with the music. There's that, like when you put the puzzle pieces in, right, and they just fit. And so it feels like you go out, and for me, it's improv. There is not a lot of pre-planned material because I need to have that moment of free flow. Everyone talks about what is your flow state, right? And everyone finds that in a different way. Some people are runners, some people are, they find it in artistic drawing. And for me, the flow state comes in improv. So we always joke my best work often comes in the first time I improv to a piece of music. And then often, I would say most
And then you're like, I forgot what I did.
Exactly.
Oh, did someone video that?
Exactly. I have no idea. It's like you black out.
So true.
Right. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And so someone has to film, but if I know they're filming, then I'm kind of, thinking too much.
Yeah, then you're thinking too much and then it gets stiff.
Yeah. So once we have that first improv, for example, again, Amber and I had her and I trade off. So I go, you take the camera, I'll skate.
Okay.
And then vice versa. And then I watch what comes out of her body because it has to be neutral. It has to be natural for her, comfortable for her. And again, back to fashion, I say, like, what looks good on me might not look good on you, and vice versa. So it's really, again, the iteration is micro in those very first moments of like, ooh, I liked this move you did, but I wasn't as happy with what came out here. Let's put our two ideas together.
Well, you know what I love, what I'm hearing, and I like working this way too, is collaboration, because a lot of choreographers have their plan. They go to, the skater goes to the rink and they're like, here's your choreography. And this is what it is. And they don't like straying from that plan. I think it's really important to collaborate because honestly, and you and I both know, if they don't collaborate, then they see a program that they're not happy with because the skater has taken it and put in the things that they want. So talk about the collaboration aspect of you with Amber.
Yeah, it's absolutely the case. I mean, at the end of the day, the skater is performing this and they have control over how they want to do it, which means they need buy-in. They need buy-in and they need to feel ownership over what they're doing. And then you'll have a performance that you both are really proud of, right? If there's a mandate, that's not good for anyone. It's just not productive, in my opinion, right? Quite frankly. And I've always found that if there is the collaboration of ideas, you get a better product. And that comes not only in the competitive realm, but when I work film, television, etc., you are a part of a team. You are a part of, with the director, the producer, the lighting designer. So I think it comes from a theatrical background as well. You will just find better work. I don't pretend to say I have all the answers.
And also, I mean, talk about jumping passes, because single skaters have specific ways and directions that they like to go into their jumps, and the jumping is the most important aspect. So what you're doing choreographically, going into a jump, they have to have a lot of say. So talk about the difference in working with a dance team or a pair team versus a single skater who has those jumping passes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Sometimes I think of my job as the idea generator, because I've so often had a skater say to me, I can't do my triple flip off of that. Like, are you kidding me, right? Their eyes go wide. I once had a guy say to me, a number of years ago, male skater, I was setting up a pass for him to go into a quad. And I go, oh, well, I think we can do this arm into the quad. And I kid you not, he looked at me and he went, don't rush me. Just like that. Don't rush me. I was like, oh God, okay.
You're like, you can do it slowly.
Right.
I don't care. It just has to be this arm movement.
Just add an arm, right?
It's true.
So there's just such stress around the elements, especially the hard jumps, right? So Amber and I talk about where my jurisdiction is, and I tell her I have time here, and that's when we're thinking about the creative and the performance quality. And then we kind of have a moment we both agree on where we say, okay, now you're in jump mode.
Yeah.
And that's how I think we find that balance.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a great way to explain it too.
Yeah.
What about when something's not working and you put on a piece of music and either this is, I've been holding this piece of music for a long time, and then they put it on and they skate to it and you're like, I don't know how to tell you this, but it's not right for you. Or if you actually choreograph the whole program, which we've all done, and we're like, it's just not connecting with people.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think is fascinating about the creative process, right? And every creative person on any creative endeavor will understand that and feel it. And so you can paint something and step back and go, oh, huh, right? And it's the same with choreography. So it just takes a lot of time, physical effort, etc., and then honesty. And I think that's where the trust component comes in.
Yeah.
So when we're working at a really high level, these athletes know what they want to look like and feel like. And I see it as my job to help them get there.
Yeah.
So at this point, the honesty, if you can't be honest, you're wasting everyone's time, to be frank.
Yeah.
So I think you really have to do just okay, it's not working.
Yeah.
And we have to come to terms with that.
Yeah.
And we know because it's a gut feeling. And we've all been watching skating our whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it comes down to you just don't look yourself, or you don't feel yourself, or I, as an audience member, I don't get anything from it.
Yeah.
And I think those are the conversations.
Yeah. And the other thing that people I think are really interested in is the maturity of a program, like how, your very first version of that program, and after a skater practices it for a while, how it grows. You learn to breathe in the right places. I don't think people understand that. Can you talk about how a program through months and years even gets better and better, and learning your tempo, your breathing, all of that stuff? Can you tell?
Well, it can get better. It also can get stale.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen the opposite, where you train it for a while and then it goes kind of dead. So in order for that not to happen, we talk about, I have choreographed eyebrows before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have, of course, choreographed all the breaths, all the inhales, all the exhales. They are set.
That's very thorough, by the way.
Thank you.
That is very thorough.
Thank you.
I mean, really, I don't think I've ever had a choreographer choreograph a breath. They're like, that's all up on you.
No, yeah. It's
Wow,
all
good.
about, because if you think about it, inhaling, that's like life.
Yeah.
That's giving you life, right? And so the audience feels that. They feel when you're breathing, when you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So for me, the details are everything. But to your point, I can't have that conversation when they're still learning steps.
Yeah, no, they're like,
you can't
too
do
much
it.
TMI.
Exactly. So it comes with time, after they've felt comfortable, after we've decided, the jumps are in the right order. We like how the music is swelling, where you're putting where we have this element. And then we can go into, okay, what does it look like for you to lift your eyebrows here, for you to inhale? And then sometimes we talk about, internal monologue. There's a lot of what are you thinking theatrically at this moment? Do you have a character for the single skaters? You have to kind of imagine a character that you are skating to. Whereas the ice dance in pairs, it's really nice. You actually have someone there
to act
tangibly
exactly.
touch,
It's like,
right?
I'm looking at someone.
Yeah.
So then you will choreograph smiles. You'll choreograph different emotions at different moments in the program.
I will.
Yeah.
It's an interesting experience. Nowadays, I always talk to the young women I work with about, I don't want to say, you have to smile, because women historically have been told that a lot, right? Smile, look happy. And so when I try to talk to these developing young women as they grow into, early adulthood and then adulthood, I say, we need to differentiate. When you're out there, this is a performance, and you're just as much an entertainer as an athlete. And so as we have that conversation, the smile it is part of the story you're telling. It's part of how you want the crowd to feel. It's not just go out there and look pretty.
Yeah.
And that's really important, and has been even more important, I would say, in the last 10
So a
10
reason
years.
for a smile instead of just smiling, because we see so many skaters who are they're not having a good skate, but they're still smiling. You're like, that doesn't feel like a realistic smile to me.
Yeah, it's not genuine.
Yeah, it's not genuine. The other thing too that's interesting, and I don't think that people realize, and maybe you can talk a little bit about it is the resting, because it is so difficult to do a 4-minute program. It's like sprinting for 4 minutes while you have to have burst energy.
Yeah.
You're doing these jumps, so it's strength, endurance, it's all this stuff. And so the resting places that you choreograph into a program, that's actually a thing.
Yes, exactly. It's very intentional. Again, I had a male skater once say to me during his rest.
Why is it always the males?
Because they're doing quads, I think.
Yeah.
He said to me once, we were talking about performance, right? And I was like, so what are we going to look at here, right? Like, who is it? You don't have to tell me who, but like, who are you thinking about romantically when you're looking off into the distance, right? And I posed it as a question. I often like the skater to tell me their thoughts, right? So I posed it as a question and was like, who are you looking at? And again, he looked at me and he goes, yeah, so I'm just trying to bring my heart rate down. Okay.
You're like, let's use that.
Right, yeah. Okay, heart rate, okay. So, it's both,
Yeah.
right? And I think my job is to bring them into the theatrical realm as much as possible. And at the end of the day, come on, we're not in the theater. This is competition and a medal is on the line. So I have to respect it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing quads. So great, we're gonna bring that heart rate down.
Yeah.
And that's part of my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's been the best thing about working with Amber? Like what does she bring to the table? I mean, I could imagine that she's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. The entire 4 years of our collaboration has been fantastic. She's game to try. She's up for things. Her range of choreographically, I can answer that in two ways, right? Choreographically, she has range of motion. She can get her leg high. She can do the tricks. She can cartwheel. I mean, the list of her tricks is unending. And that makes my job choreographically so much easier, right? Because it feels like the sky's the limit. You just get to go, well, let's try this. Okay. Let's try this. Okay, right? But then when I really genuinely think about the best part of working with her, it's who she is. And I am proud every day to stand with her and on her team. And I see it every day in practice. She lives what she says. And to the point where when we're practicing, I will ask her to go do something and she's cheering on the younger skaters she trains with, to the point where I'm like, okay, this is great. Could you focus on what you're doing? It's really incredible.
Yeah.
It's really incredible, her leadership, her mentorship. And so I'm most proud of the person she's become and who she is.
Well, that comes through too in the choreography, because the essence of a person comes through. Like the audience can really, if someone allows them in, to who they are, that can just be magnified triple by for an audience to see. And I really feel that from Amber too. She just lets people see who she is. Even though she's doing a character in the program, she's also allows people to see her true character.
Absolutely. And sometimes we talk about that because the character of the program might go away and you just see Amber, and that's great too, right? She has her heart on her sleeve, and I'm just proud to be on her team. She is well-spoken, and she lives what she says, and she means it. And she cares for everyone around her. She'll go to competition. She brings us back little gifts. She just cares for everyone.
That's amazing.
It's really beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, we're all wishing the best for Amber. And we could talk about this for 3 hours, right? We could just totally geek out on things, but I don't know if our audience would understand as much. But thank you so much for talking about choreography with me today. I think it's really fascinating, and I hope you guys find it fascinating as well.
Well, Brian, it's been an honor.
Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So now you get a little bit of a taste of that mama hen personality that Amber Glenn is bringing to the ladies team.
Absolutely. Well, great interview.
Yeah.
And as we now, of course, are awaiting the women's competition, this, Battle of the Bryans, huge. Obviously, nothing against the guys, but traditionally over the years, this is the moment in the Olympics, the women's competition, going all the way back for the U.S. to obviously to, well, Tenley Albright and Carol Heiss Jenkins, but then especially Peggy Fleming, Dorothy Hamill, of course, you have Tara Lipinski, Michelle Kwan, that great battle, Sarah Hughes, Sasha Cohen getting that last U.S. medal until potentially this time. So there's nothing quite like that women's skating competition at the Olympic Games.
Amazing. Yeah, we have so much to look forward to. It's going to be, the drama's going to be there, and we're going to see some great skating too. But for right now, I'm sorry to say, we're signing off for Milan Magic, so stay tuned for our next episode.